Do you want to know how to launch a book effectively? Stay tuned to find out. Today we're going to look at my Amazon ad strategy for launching a new book. Now, what I've found so far is the first sort of 2 to 4 weeks is the most important time to try and get your book ranking organically. And the best way to do that on Amazon is by using ads. And so it's a very fine balance between being aggressive with your bids early on, but making sure that you're not wasting too much money. And so I'm going to go through my 3 steps for successful ads on Amazon. And so to start with, there's just a couple of things that I want to caveat this video with. The first is that if you're using Amazon ads to try and sell your book, you need to make sure that your book is as strong as possible. You need to make sure that the cover stands out against the competition, and that if people buy your book, they're not going to leave negative reviews, because else you're just going to waste your money in the long term. So we're going to say that your book is of a good quality and the cover stands out. The next thing that I just want to mention before we get going is that this is quite a high risk ad strategy. And so you need to make sure that you're setting your own budget and you're willing to spend a certain amount of money as an investment into your book's launch. So that could be anywhere from sort of $10 to a few $100s. But I'm going to go through what I do myself. And so a very important thing to start with is we're looking at what we're trying to accomplish with this ad strategy. And what we are trying to do is to rank for keywords quickly. From what I've found on Amazon so far with my book publishing is that the algorithm tends to favour those newer books. And if you're not making sales early on, what tends to happen is your book tends to drop down the rankings for search terms. And so if you manage to use Amazon ads to try and get some sales early on, that can really help you to be boosted up the search terms. And so if we manage to get some sales early on, there's every chance for ranking for keywords organically. And if we do that, that means we can get some sales over the longer term without needing to spend money on ads. And so with this strategy, the key aim here is to get some sales early on. And then as we move on further, what we want to do is make sure we're optimizing our ads to either get to or close to a profitable ACoS. Now, if you don't know what ACoS is, that's a thing in your ads account that's going to tell you whether your ads are actually profitable or not. If you want to find out more about ACoS, click the link in the corner and you can watch my video on that as well. So going into when you've just released your book and it's published on Amazon. What I like to make sure I do is make sure that the Amazon A+ content is uploaded, and then I'll set up my advertising campaigns. To start with, we are going to be looking at the burst section. For this, we're going to create multiple ads and they're going to have very high bids. So the type of ads that we will create for this are keyword ads, auto ads, product ads, and even category ads. But the main ones that we want to be pushing here are the keyword ads and the auto ads. The main aim here is to get sales via keywords. And so whilst the product and category ads are good and they help us get sales, they might not help us rank for certain keywords. So when you're spending a lot of money early on with high bids, focus on those keywords and auto ads. After that, we go into the optimize phase. And that's moving on from that initial burst section and trying to bring the ACoS down towards a more profitable level. What we'll do here as well is just turn off ads that are getting clicks and no sales. And then we move into our final section, which is maintaining. So this is after the book has been launched, and this is where we will tweak the ads that are performing, but we want to try and make them even more profitable. And we'll completely turn off anything that's just not working. So that's the kind of top level strategy. But we're going to have a deeper look into each 3 of these phases. And then I'm going to show you an example of a successful launch. So going into the burst phase, as mentioned, the type of ads to focus on are definitely your keyword and auto ads, but you can also have some product ads to try and help get those early sales. In terms of a time frame, what I like to do is set sort of 2 to 3 weeks for the burst section. So if I had unlimited money, I would keep it going for longer. But generally, the sales here are not going to be profitable. And so what I like to do is put a bit of a time frame on how long I'm willing to run unprofitable ads for. And so for me, the first sort of 2 to 3 weeks is about right. And what you might find is it might even take a couple of days for your ads to even start getting impressions. If that's the case, what I like to do is just check in and bump the bid up a little bit further. In terms of the budget, it completely depends on the niche. So the thing that we need to remember here is we're trying to rank organically for keywords. Now, if hardly anyone's searching for that keyword, it's not going to be worth spending $10, never mind $100. But then on the flip side, if there's a search term that has a lot of volume to it, if we can rank organically for those sorts of search terms, we're going to see a large amount of organic sales. And so you need to make sure that you are setting yourself a budget for the burst phase and that you're kind of treating this as almost like a high risk investment. So for me, I tend to try and budget between $50 and $100 for this section. Then after the first couple of weeks, we go into the optimize phase. So this will be across all of the ads that we created previously. And for me, this is in the next couple of weeks after the burst. So for this, I've put week 2 to 4, but it might be week 3 to 5, 3 to 6, etc. And so what we're trying to do here is bring down those high bids to a more reasonable level, but to a point where we're still getting clicks and still getting sales. The budget for this phase is going to be lower than the burst phase. And so an estimate here, for example, is if you're spending between $50 and $100 for the burst, you might then want to spend between $30 and $50 for the secondary optimize phase. And then we move into the maintain area. And the key point for this is to try and turn those ads into profitable ads. And basically, if we can't achieve that, we turn the ads off. And so we look at all of the type of ads again, and these are the ongoing ads. And so if you've managed to optimize your burst ads where they're profitable or nearly profitable, you can keep these ads going in the maintain phase for as long as you like. And then in terms of budget, we're bringing the bids down, so the cost is going to be lower. We're probably going to get a lot less sales in the maintain phase, but that's okay. What we're trying to do is get profitable sales via our ads. And so again, for the budget, I'd say it depends on the niche and also how successful the ads have been. But what I would say is you probably don't really need to be spending more than $20 a month in the maintain phase. And so if we put that into a flow chart, it looks like this. So we're spending most of our money up front in the burst phase to try and get our books ranking organically for keywords. We then move on to the optimize phase where we're still spending a decent chunk of our budget, but we're looking to turn those ads more profitable. And then we move into the maintain phase where all we're worried about is making sure our ads are profitable over the long term. So let's take a look at what that looks like in our Amazon ads account. So this ad is a keyword ad for a colouring book. Now this launched back in August and we spent less than $100 on this keyword ad. Now a profitable ACoS for this book was only around 15%. And so straight away you're thinking, wow, that ACoS is very unprofitable. And so basically what we've done here is we've paid Amazon to sell our book. But as you can see, launching it in August of this year, pretty much all of the budget was spent in that first month. And that was during the burst and the optimize phase. And so in that first month, we managed to get 116 clicks and 18 orders. And those 18 orders helped this book to rank organically. And then what I did is moving forward, I tried to optimize these keywords. But then as you can see, we got 4 clicks in September, 0 clicks in October, and 1 click in November. And this is because it's a competitive area and the bids were just too high. And having an ACoS on this ad of almost 50% is just not worth it. You know, what's the point? Why am I spending more money than I'm getting in? I did that at the beginning because it helped me rank organically for keywords. And so that was the keyword ad for the launch, but we also did an auto ad and we also did a product ad. Now, all in all, we spent around $160 on the launch of this book. That got us 36 orders in August. And then if we come over to our report section, this is the sale of this book. So in August, we went really hard with the burst campaign for this launch and we got 71 sales. So that's 36 we got via ads and then also another 35 organically. But then as you can see, moving into September, October and November, the ads weren't serving. And so all of these sales were organic. And so into September, the book got over 180 sales. Into October, it got almost 300. And in November, it's going to get over 300 sales as well. And that just shows the power of ranking organically for keywords. Now, I don't need to run ads for this book at all anymore. And that's because I'm ranking for several keywords at the number 1 and number 2 spot on Amazon. And so touch wood, this book keeps selling. I don't need to spend any more money on ads. And that 50% ACoS at the beginning of the ads is now irrelevant because we're making money every single month without having to invest another dollar. So that's an example of the power of Amazon and what a profitable book launch can look like. And this is the book where the bids were too high and I couldn't go into that maintain phase because the ads weren't serving. And that's likely because it's a competitive niche. I do have other books in slightly less competitive niches where I've managed to get those bids to a below A cost level. And so every time I make a sale via an ad, it's generally profitable. And that will help keep those lifetime sales going. And then that's on top of the organic sales as well. So this is just one potential ad strategy for the launch of a book. As I mentioned, it's quite a high risk strategy. You need to make sure your book is of a super good quality and that people are searching for it. But if you want long-term success on Amazon, this is the ad strategy that I would use. Okay, that's it for this one. But if you have any tips and tricks for ads, make sure to leave them below in the comments. Alright, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.